Hi folks, my name is Cowan Scott of Scott Country, and in a change to our usual presenter, I will now be introducing the night vision show from here on in. Our usual presenter Darren left us recently, and we wish him all the very best of luck in the future. Anyway, moving on to this month's episode, we'll be testing all the latest in thermal imaging equipment from the likes of Pulsar, Guide and Thermoteknix, basically ranging from the budget end, or not really the budget end, the more affordable end of the market in Pulsar, the HD38S, which is currently the UK's most fastest selling thermal imaging device, on to the new Guide, the IR516 A, which is halfway in between that and the Thermoteknix TiCam, which is basically the all singing, all dancing. If you want to see something 2 miles away, you know what it is, that's what you'd go for. We will also be giving you a review of the Deerstalking Fair in Kelso, which we managed to attend this year despite being snowed in last year. At the show we had a night vision tunnel which allowed people to try all the night vision demo equipment we had there. Anyway, more about that later. Welcome to the night vision show.
Okay Paul, so where are we heading to tonight on episode 6 of the night vision show? We're in a 4x4 Duster. Tell us where we're going.
You'll see the sign up here actually. We're in Dundrennan and Kirkcudbrightshire, so we're quite near a military base, so we might see some jets and some helicopters flying about. We'll hopefully see some marine life perhaps. So yeah, we'll head on down there.
The location this evening in complete darkness is a beach on the southwest coast of Scotland. We've brought along a couple of guests to the show this month. We're filming using a small infrared camera. We're right on the shoreline. It's a perfect place for using handheld thermal images. It's a good field test this because we've got something right at the top of the scale, which is the TiCam 750, and then we've got something new, which is a biocular, and we've got the very, very popular Pulsar Quantum HD38S, which really is the front runner for a lot of gamekeepers, farmers and members of the public. It's affordable, and we're going to see really how these three pit against each other. As I said at the beginning of the show, I'm joined by Ollie. He's someone who's interested in thermal images, and we've brought him along purely because he wants to see how the things work. It's a different angle to the show, and we're going to speak to Ollie now. He's got a couple of questions and see what he thinks. Okay, so I'm joined by Ollie. Ollie, you're going to be looking through the device you've got in your hands there. Have you got any questions?
Yeah, thanks for letting us use this, Darren. It's an interesting piece of kit. I just wanted to know what's the kind of range that you'd be able to view objects at using this?
Okay, it's a Guide IR516 A. It's a thermal imager biocular.
Okay.
Okay, so the approximate range of this device, for instance, is a man-sized object at approximately 1,500 metres. That's detection range, so very, very powerful. It's got a very large objective lens, so you should be able to get, when we say man-sized object, if a man measures the height of 1.75 metres.
I've already had a little go at using this. Just going to have another use, but I've already found it's really quite easy to use, quite intuitive. The controls quite simple.
Yep.
Straightforward, and the clarity you're getting from some of these pictures, fantastic.
Yeah, and that's the idea. What you're using there is something that is not affected by the weather, whereas digital night vision is. So, for example, if you were using a digital night vision, a spotter or a scope, or even one of the handheld binoculars, if there's moisture in the air like there is tonight, you'll see that, and it'll affect the picture. With something like the Guide IR516 A, it's a thermal imager, so it sees through mist and fog, and with that device there, you've got the choice of white hot or black hot. So, for example, if you on the shoreline here, you were looking at maybe a pheasant on the edge, in the bushes on the edge, you couldn't quite see it. You might want to change the signature to black hot from white hot.
I don't think I've actually done that yet, so.
Yeah, well, you're going to get a full field test on it, and like I say, we'll show you how to use it, and off you go, basically.
Thanks very much.
This location, we're right on the shoreline. You know, it really is in complete darkness, and you know, to your left, you've got a line of trees. which is about 10 metres away from us, and then obviously you've got the shingle bank right down to the shoreline, so you've got contrasting light conditions there, but with this thermal it's quite easy to see sort of shorebirds and rabbits, I suppose, on the edge of the trees there.
Yeah, I'm just scanning in, zooming into a few, to the cliff tops on my left hand side here. Again, I've just gone to white heat, and it's bringing out different levels of detail. I can see the trees at the top of the cliff. I'll take this away from my face, I can't see anything.
Okay.
It's fantastic, the level of detail.
Imagine you were a gamekeeper, and you were obviously scanning your land for trespassers or poachers, or you were trying to aid a group of hunters or shooters that had come up for a weekend shooting break. Do you think something like this would be the ideal tool in these conditions?
Yeah, I think it's, like I say, so far it's very easy to use. It's very, at the moment, it's clear that there's nobody else on the beach at the moment, bar ourselves. I could make out individual boulders. Certainly, if there was an animal, then this thing would pick it up in no time.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to let you carry on and have a play around with that guide, and then in a few minutes we're going to let you get to grips with the TiCam 750.
Right then, Ollie, you've got the TiCam 750 LR. What do you think of this bit of kit?
It's on another level of detail. You can make out the rippling of the water, high level of detail on all the boulders. We're stood on it's not a sandy beach. It's covered in stones. This beach, you can make out every single one of them. I'm just zooming in now to have a look at the trees on the top of the cliff.
With a thermal imager, different stones and different sizes of stones will retain heat differently. So because we're here, say probably an hour and a half since the sun's gone down, there's a lot of heat retained in the rocks and the trees around about us as well. So you'll see those as low heat sources. Should there be something, an animal, a human pop up, they'll glow quite hot at the moment. So we're going to move on where we're going to see some test subjects shortly. See the size of the lens on that device you've got, Ollie. It's a huge piece of germanium. Germanium is the element which basically captures the thermal heat source, what you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's then processed through the device by what's called a microbolometer, and what that does is that looks at all the heat patterns and it generates an image based on that. So you get a thermogram or a thermograph based on what you're looking at. Then it's processed through a CCD chip onto a screen, and you see it as an image instead of just light. Every natural thing is a heat source, so if you're out in cold weather, for example, you're looking at objects 3 kilometres away, you'd be more likely to detect a heat source than you would do on a sunny day, because the ambient temperature is much less. Saying that, a thermal imager you can use during the day, and particularly at the TiCam you're using, you'll see a vessel such as a ship, a boat, someone bobbing up and down the water. You'll see a heat source out to 4 kilometres with it, which is a phenomenal bit of kit.
Okay folks, so we're just about to move location. We've been on the shoreline, complete darkness. We're now going to take the Dacia Duster, and thank God we had that, because we wouldn't have got down to the beach. We're going to hoof it back up to one of the local villages. We're going to film with the thermal images surrounded by boats, buildings. I'm joined by Wildlife Stu, and Ollie's back. Ollie, bit of an experience, yeah?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Really enjoyed the guide. The first one that I used, I thought it's very straightforward. I think Paul mentioned it would be ideal, if you're a gamekeeper. It's an amazing level of detail. This one here,
that's a TiCam, yeah?
TiCam, yeah. This is kind of like on another level. I'm not sure, whether it would suit a gamekeeper or. But it's fantastic, you get into amazing detail of objects, like you say, I think 4 kilometres, it's just amazing really.
Yeah.
It's good, good fun to use.
And certainly on the beach there, Stu, we saw some small animals moving. You've seen it with the HD38, the Pulsar Quantum. quite small, but we were able to detect them in complete darkness with that, weren't we?
Oh,
yeah. Out of the three, which one would you prefer to use?
The first one I was using,
the guide.
The guide.
Yeah. So far in this episode, folks, we've got a bit more to go. Seems to be like the guide 516 FA. Seems to be our favourite. Again, don't be swayed by our decision. We've got three very, very good thermal imagers here. They all do different things, and they're all at different retail price and different levels of technology. But we're going to hoof it up the roads. We're going to see what they're like in some built-up surroundings in a harbour environment.
It's been a bit of a different experience tonight, a bit different to what we normally do on the show. You know, we've got the four of us here in the vehicle, we're kitted up. Normally we'd be out trudging across the fields, but as you can see, at the moment we're getting down the lanes in the 4x4 Dacia Duster. Stu, can you think of any other uses for thermals other than what we've mentioned? I mean, you come from a farming environment, so you work on the farm. Do you think, from a security application point of view, do you think farmers would benefit if they had a problem with, say, diesel being stolen?
Definitely.
If there was a thermal to hand and they were able to track someone, I think it'd help.
Definitely. Be brilliant.
Yeah, good stuff. There you go, folks. We're coming into the built-up harbour area where we're going to film a short segment, and then we'll tailor off the rest of the show. But I hope you enjoyed it so far.
Alright guys, so we're in the harbour in Kirkcudbright here. What can you see?
There's a fox at the other side of the riverbank. It's probably, I would say, about 500 metres, that kind of distance away, just bobbing about. It's just gone into a bit of cover now, but we've followed it on various zooms, just coming down the bank. There's a lot more going on as well. There's various boats in the harbour, and there's the cars off in the distance. So interesting stuff. Okay, so that fox is just coming back into view. I have to say, you know, it's in pitch black, but it's picking out quite a bit of detail. So this is Quantum HD38S. Just having a scan through it. It's very, very smooth imaging. I'd be pretty impressed with this. I haven't used the others. Does it have recording facilities on this as well?
Not inbuilt, but you know, you can plug in something like a Yukon MPR, which is a mobile personal recording device. They basically just work. You put an SD card on the side of it, and you can stick it in your pocket, and off you go. You can record footage. You know, that's what we've done in our field test. But yeah, you're right. Look, at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to look at what we filmed tonight and say, oh, you know, for me, I need something that I can carry easy. Yes, you might want the best technology in something like the TiCam, but you know, if you're going to be trudging across a field carrying a rifle and having to open gates and jump fences, you want something like the...
Yeah, this thing's it's lightweight. You know, you put it in your pocket.
But on the side of that,
it's a lot easier to use. And
power-wise, you look at the side of that. There's a Pulsar EPS3 battery pack on there. On a full charge, that will last up to 10 hours instead of having to use 4 AA batteries. Yeah, so it's nice to have the toys and the best thing going, but you know, if you're serious about using a thermal imager, at the moment, hands down, and you're new to it, Ollie. We took you along tonight. You've seen for yourself, hands on. You know, we haven't had to tell you what is the best one. We've let you decide for yourself. And at the end of the night, you know, in your hands, you've got the Quantum HD38S.
Yeah,
and you know,
it's good bit of kit, I think. You know, if I certainly at entry level as well.
Yeah. Totally.
How much are you looking at for one of these?
Under £3,000 retail.
Right. Okay.
You know, and if you think, you know, if you go back 2 or 3 years ago, you couldn't buy a thermal imager realistically anywhere near as good as an HD38 under £7,500. So the price has come down because technology is becoming more available. Pulsar themselves, I know, they now make everything in-house, so the reduced cost is then, you know, for the consumer or the people that are going to buy it.
So I've used another 2 cameras tonight. What's the price on the 2 though?
The TiCam 750 that we use tonight really is, like I've said before, that's like the Ferrari of thermal images. You know, that starts at £25,000.
Wow.
And then you get your add-ons after all that. You know, you can really soup it up. You know, it's like a car. You know, you can put all the bits to it and make it look amazing and all these things. You can do that with a TiCam. The Guide 516 FA's about £10,000 retail. So, you know, again, you've got to look at that through a biocular. It's similar to the it's similar style to the TiCam.
Yeah.
People that are in security and search and rescue, I think, you know, and people with masses of land would maybe go for something like the TiCam or the Guide. Something like again, the Quantum, you've got it in your hand there. The Quantum HD38S, it's just easy. Put it in your pocket, off you go.
Yeah,
and under £3 grand.
This one, I can't actually record with this one at the moment. So
Not at the moment, no, but we could quite easily plug in a mobile personal recorder.
I'd say this one, it's kind of got the same quality of picture at a lesser distance.
Yeah. Well,
certainly it's quite smooth, the picture though. You know, you can walk along with it and.
Well, Pulsar.
It seems more mobile.
Yeah, and Pulsar in their specs say that it's got a maximum detection range of 950 meters. You know, and you know, depending on what you're looking at and the lay of the land, then you know, man-sized objects. You know, you're picking out a heat source at that distance. Fine. Realistically, you're not really going to want to try and spot something at 950 meters away. People that are going to use this, like your gamekeepers, yourself. You know, if you're generally using it for observing, 500 metres, it's all brilliant, and you've got the clean image, which you quite like to see. Well, there you go, folks. Another end of a great show, episode 6. You know, you've seen us standing on a beach in complete darkness using 3 of the top thermal images available in the retail market at the moment. We're finishing up the show here, standing on the harbour side in Kirkcudbright, in Dumfries and Galloway. Thermal imaging is the way forward from now on, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Join us for episode 7 on the 1st of May. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.
The last weekend in March saw the Deerstalking Fair 2014 take place at Kelso in the Scottish Borders. All aspects of deerstalking were represented, from the likes of rifles, optics, larder equipment, 4x4 vehicles, ATVs and Scott Country International with the night vision and the night vision demo tunnel. Some of the new exhibitors this year were Harkler, Alan Roan, the Stalking Directory and Rovinch UK with their tick resistant clothing. The show attracted many age groups, from the younger shooters right up to the seasoned veterans from the south of the border and north of the border. In its second year, the show has proved a big hit, and we caught up with Paul from Scott Country, who spoke to Stevie, one of the show organisers.
Okay, Stevie, so this is the first time we've come to the Deerstalking Fair. How have you found it this year?
Busier than last year.
Yeah.
I can't believe that in 2 years it's jumped this high. I mean, the interest in it's phenomenal.
There's been an awful lot of people here, a lot more than I was really surprised when people were here. It's really good.
I quite was as well. I was in the door this morning, I was busy. I started at 8:30 and I didn't lift my head at 12 o'clock. It was just a constant stream of people coming in. So.
What do you think of the night vision tunnel on the setup
I love it.
brought here?
And the setup's phenomenal. I think your stuff's probably, the people I've been speaking to at the door, it's the most popular thing at the show, I think.
Excellent.
Aye, so you're,
I've been kept busy all day. So.
Aye, I mean it's just, I think it's great. I really do. And I think it's what people want to see.
Yep.
And we've got to try and keep expanding into new things every year to try and. It's difficult within the parameters of deerstalking to keep it fresh.
Of course, a lot of the kit we do is night vision, but a lot of it's thermal imaging. Thermal imaging is very specific for deer stalking. A lot of people use them for picking up deer, doing surveys on deer, and also for stalking themselves, for seeing a deer that's in plantation or in cover. So, are you any experience with thermal images yourself?
20 years ago, the Forestry Commission was hiring these things in to try and count the seek on the borders, and they would look at a wood. But they couldn't tell between a rock that had been hit with the sun all day or whether it was an animal. But the stuff that you've got now, you can actually see what it is you're looking at. Things have moved on so fast now. So the experience I had, it was 20 years ago. So the new technology will be
Yeah.
Can way beyond me.
Absolutely.
An old man like me.
Where's things going with the Deerstalking Fair? I hear you've a few plans afoot. So.
We're taking it to Newark on the 15th and the 16th of November this year. And then next year for this venue, we're going to try and push it forward so we can try and put more of this, more marquees outside, try and pick up the better weather.
We maybe thought of doing an idea next year, having some heat sources outside in the lawn, and having a thermal imager tunnel and having people try the thermal imagers outside.
That would be phenomenal if we could do something like that. And I think we need to take it outside a bit more. It's hard when you have traders inside a building, and when you draw what they see as their customers away from them, they start to get a wee bit nervy about it. So we're going to have to be careful how we do it. But I think demonstrations outside at certain times, like now when things have quieted down.
Well, we could do a time demonstration for thermal imaging,
that's right.
And let everyone try them out.
That would be great to do stuff like that. It'd be brilliant.
Good. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Stephen, thanks very much for talking to us. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
As you heard Stevie say in the interview, one of the big attractions at the Kelso Deerstalking Fair this year was Scott Country with their latest night vision and thermal images. An even bigger attraction was their demo night vision tunnel, where people attending the show could get to use the likes of the latest N750 A from Pulsar, the brand new Photon and the new Starlight Arrow rear mounted add-on. The big attraction were the handheld thermal imagers, and with technology moving forward so fast, Scott Country were able to put on some show deals with the Quantum HD38S, FLIR and Guide thermal imagers. One of the special attractions was the TiCam 750, which for gamekeepers and deerstalkers really does prove how technology can come in and be very useful. Also on show was the brand new Foxfire T20V, which was specially made for Scott Country with its variable power switch. Many people had the chance to use the demo night vision tunnel, and we caught up with one of the show attendees, a young man who was starting out shooting.
Right, Michael, so you've just come along to test a bit of equipment. This is the Pulsar DFA 75. So have you heard about the Pulsar before?
I've done a wee bit of research in it, just to try it out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, we'll go into the tunnel a little bit and try it out there.
Yeah,
so
no problem.
How you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
really busy.
Yeah, cool. You
nice.
came any particular reason to see anything? Or?
I've got an interest in it.
Yeah, cool. So, excellent. Well, we'll head to the tunnel.
Yeah, on board.
I'm joined by one of the organisers of the show. Tell us a little bit of how you thought the show went and what's going to happen moving forward in the future.
Well, as hoped for, the show was even bigger, and from what we're told, better than last year. The traders certainly did a lot more business than last year, and the crowds seemed larger. We managed to expand on the exhibits as we promised we would, and we had a far greater variety of stocking-related products there than we did the previous year. So moving forward, we hope if we can continue that momentum into 2015, we may have to look at expanding the venue itself to accommodate everybody that now seems to want to come along to the Deerstalking Fair. So it's all looking good for the future.
That's fantastic. And obviously you had people there demoing as well. What did you think of the demos?
Well, to be honest with you, our opinion doesn't really count for much. It's really down to the opinion of the visitors. That's what we base it on, and the feedback so far has been great. In particular, to be totally honest, the Scott Country demo with the night vision equipment was raved about by some guys. They said it was a fantastic display. It gave them the chance with first-hand experience of the kit, which, let's be honest about it, is quite an investment, and they were delighted that they could actually handle it at the venue. The butchery demo, the dogs for deer tracking seminars, it all went down really, really well this year, so we're delighted with the feedback that we've had so far.
That's fantastic. Appreciate you talking to us, and we'll speak to you again next year.
No problem, thanks.
So with the show being such a huge success in its second year, we look forward to the third show, which will be coming in mid-November 2014, and details of that will be found on the Stalking directory and back at Kelso and the Scottish Borders in 2015. Don't forget, for more information you can visit their website www.deerstalkingfair.co.uk.
Well, that was it for yet another episode of the Night Vision Show. This month we brought you footage from the latest commercially available thermal imaging devices from Pulsar, Guide and Thermoteknix, covering all budgets. We also brought you footage from the recent Deerstalking Fair in Kelso, which was a resounding success for us and a chance for us to meet many of our online customers in person. Hopefully the snow will stay away again next year. In next month's episode, we'll be bringing you footage of the long-awaited Starlight Arrow, which we'll be testing thoroughly in isolation and also in a head-to-head test against the industry benchmark in affordable night vision, the Yukon Photon, using a range of different IR illuminators. We will also be taking a look at the new range of night vision add-on devices from Nightsight. The other big topic we will be discussing is to dedicate a rifle or not dedicate a rifle. Join us next month for our next episode of the Night Vision Show.